Well, it looks like Dawn found a new place to set up shop.
I just keep looking. I'm still in City Hall.
Okay. That almost looks like that new meeting place over at the police department, so.
Well, it's halfway. It's the EOC.
Oh, okay. Okay, well, wait a minute. It's 6:30 and 1, 2, 3, 4. We have a quorum, but only 4. And okay, we can go ahead and get started. I'm sure the others will join us in a few moments. As we begin our regular city council meeting, we will turn to the electronic meeting statement that we are required to give, and we'll listen to that now. Pursuant to Utah Code, West Valley City has determined that this meeting will be held electronically without an anchor location given the ongoing novel coronavirus COVID-19 pandemic. West Valley City has determined the pandemic presents a substantial risk to the health and safety of those who may be present at an anchor location. This meeting will be held electronically. Members of the press and public are invited to view this meeting live on YouTube at www.youtube.com/user/WVCTV. Public comment period will be had during this time for those who previously registered to get information on sign in to the meeting. Okay, thank you. We do have a quorum. We have 5 council members participating electronically. And we may have more join us, a couple of the other councilmen. But with that, we call our meeting to order. We note, let's see, we have an Inside the City video that we are going to listen to at this point.
I'm Deputy Chief Robert Hamilton with the West Valley City Police Department. Today I got my first of 2 COVID-19 vaccines, which means that I've taken the first step and hopefully helping stop the spread and coming down with the illness myself. So with all of our first responders, all of our paramedics and firefighters, if we are able to all get this vaccine and get it done in a timely manner, hopefully we'll be able to be a little bit more effective in our jobs and not have to worry about unknowingly transmitting or succumbing to the illness.
Have you come back in 4 weeks for that second dose?
The experience was relatively, literally painless, except for the waiting in line. We had to wait in line for about 10 minutes, and then it was just like any other vaccine. Didn't feel anything less than some, like a flu shot, same as a flu shot. It wasn't painful at all. Looking forward, this feels like a really positive thing. Feels like we've taken a giant step in the fight against the pandemic. We finally turned a corner where we're going to be able to, effectively deal with this, and hopefully, continue dealing with it from here on out, like we do with the flu. It's always going to be around, but hopefully, with these vaccines, we're going to be able to get back to life as normal here in the next short term. That wasn't too bad.
I'm Firefighter Livingston. I'm with West Valley Fire Department. Today I got vaccinated for COVID. Vaccinations are important so we can stop the spread of COVID. I think it's awesome. I think it's great. Got the shot, have no side effects. So I think this is a great thing to do. It's great to look forward to the new year that we can all get the COVID shot. Getting vaccinated is going to help West Valley City, that everyone in the fire department can go out and be healthy and strong and serve the community and the city.
All right, thank you. Appreciate that. Next, we'll go to our minutes of January 26th. The motion on the minutes.
Move for approval of the minutes of January 26th.
Second.
Okay, and apparently there's no other comments, so without objection, the minutes will stand approved. And hearing no objection, that will be unanimous. See one. We have 6 members of the council now. So we're still waiting on one, but with that, we have our comment period. And I need to check with Nicole and see how many are waiting to participate electronically in our public comment period.
We have 2 people signed up tonight, Mayor.
Okay, if you'll introduce the first one and bring them on.
The first one is Jim Visock.
Good evening, Mayor. I presume you guys can hear me.
Yes,
As usual, I'm here. I kind of felt sorry for Councilman Christensen sitting in that big area all by himself there for a while, but I got to sit there and watch him scratch his nose and stuff. But keep it short. Don't really have anything to say. It's good to see you guys. Stay safe, stay strong. Looks like it'll be a short meeting. Have a great evening.
thank you. And next, who do we have, Nicole?
Next, we have Mike Rigdon. Mike, you should be able to speak now.
Hello?
Yes, we can hear you. Go ahead.
Okay. Just want to let the city council members know that we had a fatality a couple of weeks ago on 4100 highway. And it hurts me that this person died on this highway. So instead of talk, I'd like to give this person a little bit of sorrow, because I believe he's due a little bit of concentration, especially those council people that border the 4100 South Highway. I just want to pause and think about that we lost a life here. Okay, and it was 2 weeks ago. So just give it a thought here. Using all my precious minutes here that I could be complaining, but I want to give him some thought. You know, thank you for listening to me. I'm still wanting to know, and I'm sure our manager of West Valley City, I'm sure that you know, he's hired integrity, he's hired applicable people to do their jobs in traffic, road construction, and in zoning. You know, my biggest concern is, when are we going to have the next fatality between 4400 West and 5400 West? This highway is unsafe. The manager, well, I don't know. It almost seems like, I don't know. I don't want to go down this road, but one of the things that I've noticed that perturbs me is I've gone out and hand out handouts and put them on doors, and I've handed out 75. And you know what? Not one person has contacted me. I'm mad. So there you go. I hope you all are chuckling, because I'm not. I'm still engaged in making sure that you guys are held accountable for when that first person dies in between 4400 West and 5400 West. And especially those two city council people that border that line. Now, one thing I want to say is 2 weeks ago, Mayor Bigelow talked about some zoning changes. And he talked about kind of a unique word that he brought up, the fact that he went out to this so-called senior development, and he went and visited a senior development. And I am, with the zoning and everything else that's going out with me having problems with zoning, is that you go ahead and label it senior, but you know, how many people are really senior citizens here? And the word is the integrity and the integrity of what you guys are trying to do here. Now, we're just going to allow 55 and older. Is that senior? No, senior citizen develop. And the question that I want to know is, how many people are going to live in this housing unit? Is it going to be 2, and then 2 grandparents, and 2 grandmothers, and 2 cousins and uncles, and 2 of this and that? My question is, limit the amount of people that are in that housing developed per unit. And you're going to cut me off. You all have a good day.
Thank you. And I believe, Nicole, that concludes those who were online.
Yes, sir.
All right. Then to our city manager for any comments.
No comment, sir. Thank you.
Okay. And then to the council, any comments? I think I would mention too, since the question was raised on the definition of senior, of course, because of the housing, we use federal definitions, and it's and they don't talk to us about their definitions. We just have to go with what they have. So 55 and over. And one thing he mentioned is probably not aware that the courts have ruled that you cannot limit the number of people in a house. I mean, if it's a family or if they invite a cousin to live with them, there's really no way that we can limit that. And I think I'm correct on that. If not, Wayne will sure help me. So a lot of ideas sound good, or you wish they were good, but the reality is that that's just not the case. So the city's powers are limited, both by federal statute and laws, by court rulings, by state law, and even by county ordinances as well. So there is a limit to some of the things we can do. We operate within those limits as best we can. So anyway, that's enough of that. We go to the next item on our agenda, which is Resolution 21-15. This is a resolution where we make a statement of support for needed transportation infrastructure funding for West Valley City and the west side of Salt Lake County. And I did read carefully the changes that were made, and very comfortable with them. If anyone has concerns, now would be the time to raise it up. But if you have any further comments on it, but I turn it over to the council now.
Move for approval of resolution 21-15.
Thank you. Second?
Second.
It's properly before us. And yes, by the way, I didn't correctly count because Don Christensen, council member's name is under the name of Ken Cushing. So, but that motion is properly before us. Hearing no further comments, then we will turn to our city recorder for the roll call vote.
Councilman Fitzie Umanu,
Aye.
Councilwoman Lang,
Yes.
Councilman Bueller,
Aye.
Councilman Hune, Councilman Hune, Councilman Christensen,
Yes.
Councilman Nordfelt,
Yes.
Councilman Hune. All right, Mayor Bigelow.
Aye.
Motion passes unanimously.
All right. Next on our agenda, of course, is the consent calendar. We have 8 items on there. And these items are what we routinely do when working on a street where we need to either purchase a small amount of property for a road or sidewalk, and get a temporary construction easement or a perpetual easement of some sort on the property. And this is on 2700 West, south of 4100 South. Now, interestingly enough, of course, a bunch of these say 2735 West, which is the front of the house. It's the back of the house where the easement and temporary construction will take place, which is on 27th. So in case anyone in the public wondered about that. And so I will just introduce that. Those are resolutions 21-16 through and including 2123. So I just introduced them all since they're so similar, just different addresses.
Mayor,
I
I
will-
move for approval of the 8 items on the consent agenda.
Second.
Properly before us, hearing no further comments, then we'll turn to our city recorder for the vote.
Councilman Nordfelt,
Yes.
Councilman Christensen,
Yes.
Councilman Hune,
Aye.
Councilman Bueller,
Aye.
Councilwoman Lang,
Yes.
Councilman Fitzie Umanu,
Aye.
and Mayor Bigelow.
Aye.
Motion passes unanimously.
Thank you. That we do not have a need for a closed session. That completes our regular agenda unless there are any final comments from any of the council members or city manager. And if there are none of those, we're through and need the last motion.
Motion to adjourn.
Then without objection, we will stand adjourned. Hearing no objection, we are adjourned. Have a safe and healthy week. Thank you all.